Hi, Vicky Hamilton here with Ron English, a super famous surreal artist, and this is Aesthetic Vlog. So Ron, you're selling toys today?
Well, today we're at Toy Art Gallery on Melrose. Everything's limited edition.
Yeah, so how many toys do you make?
How many toys?
Yeah, I mean, per edition.
Usually each colorway is 100.
So it's just like collecting prints, really, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like once they're gone, they're gone.
Right. Yeah, and there's a whole sub-market. A lot of people just come in and buy 10 and then they resell them. You know, what this is if you imagine once upon a time there was, you could buy a painting, and then there was a poster, and then maybe in the middle there's a print. But like with sculpture, there was, a $100,000 bronze sculpture, and then there was a G.I. Joe, like a toy. But there was nothing in the middle. So this kind of filled in that middle gap where, it's not a bronze sculpture. It's not worth $100,000, but it's a very limited edition toy, so it keeps going up in value, and it kind of filled in that gap.
Tell me a little about your process, about how you create the art and then take it from the art to a toy.
What we do is, this is kaiju, which is that means it's all done in Japan. It can only be done by certain people. There's a select few people that can do it, and they won't just do anybody. It's kind of a very closed culture, hard to get into. But Gino's like a really big deal in that culture, so because I work with him, he helped me get into that culture. And these are done in China, and this is my company puts them out, Propaganda. And so basically to create a piece, I have to draw it from all sides. And sometimes I actually just go ahead and sculpt the whole thing just so I can understand what I'm doing. And then they take those drawings and then they create the wax figure, and then they make a mold, and then they do limited runs of different colors. So each colorway will be like a 100. Make it all
and you have a new book out now too?
Yeah,
that's like book number 5 or 6 or something?
Yeah, well actually in a month I have another book. We started this one 5 years ago, and we started that one a year ago, and then that guy went a lot faster. So.
How long have you been at this, and how was it coming up in the art world?
Kind of marginal, weird, crazy people, and it was pretty rough. And then later we got brought into the higher end of the art world where it's more professional and life's a lot easier.
You kind of started as an illegal billboard person, right?
Well, whatever the street art thing is, I started doing street art in 1977, and it only became what it is now in the last 5 years or so, where it's kind of society now likes it and it's legal, and people don't do illegal things anymore. But for 30 years I've committed over 1,000 felonies.
So what inspires you?
Just life, just looking around, you're constantly taking in information, and then your brain kind of puts it together into something new. I think it's the same way for all artists. Well, I mean, the thing about art is you have to do something unique, where like in other professions maybe you don't. Like if you make pipe fittings, you don't have to come up with some revolutionary new pipe fitting. You just manufacture a pipe fitting, But in art, it's like you're not going to get anywhere in art until you stake out your own turf and do something that nobody has ever done yet.
You've also done a lot of art for musicians like Slash and Dandy Warhols and Pearl Jam, and
I love music and being around musicians.
So what advice do you have for an upcoming artist?
I think that the main thing is, sometimes you kind of get. Like you look around, you see somebody making something, and you see that it's really popular, and they're doing really well with it. And sometimes there's an inclination to think, well, I'm going to do that too, and maybe you can get a little bit of traction following in their wake. But you're better off just to do your own thing and suffer a little while longer, and then let people catch on to it, and then now you own this, and you get to do. Now you're doing for the rest of life the thing you want to do, instead of pigeonholing yourself into something that you're not that interested in. Like when I first got into the art world, there was absolutely no way into the art world unless you went to Harvard, and they would pick you up out of Harvard. If your dad was the CEO of Chrysler, maybe it was a very insular little world. They didn't care. They didn't want to see your slides. There was no way in. So since nobody's ever going to see your art, that's just that. But if you put your art on a billboard, they see it.
Now, who decides what goes into the museum?
There's 200 people that rule the world.
200, huh?
About 200, yeah.
And are they in New York? Is that where they are?
Mostly in New York, yeah.
Yeah,
a little
that's
spread
what I
out,
figured.
But the problem is, okay, so if somebody has a show and they have 15 paintings, and then there's like 500 people that want to buy the paintings. So then the dealer has to figure out which ones they're going to sell it to, because it's the same price for all of them, right? So then you have to start thinking about, well, wait a minute, you're on the board at MoMA, or you know, you own Vanity Fair magazine, or like, what else can you give me besides money to help this artist? Because he's only got 15 of these, you know, and there's way more people that want them than there are. So how am I going to decide who gets it? And that's why it becomes very frustrating to somebody. I see people walk in with like a big pile of money. I got the money, give me the painting, and they're just like, get out of our gallery.
So how do we find you on the web?
Well, my Instagram is Ron English Art.
Okay,
And my website is popaganda.com, P-O-P, propaganda.
Pop, not pop.
Pop, not prop.
All right.
I like the Instagram. That's a lot of fun. You can like see what everybody's doing really fast.
Well, that's Aesthetic Vlog with Ron English signing off. And come down and buy some toys.